Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige and today we're going to have a little battle of the books. This is something that I want to start doing on my channel, hopefully monthly, where I take two books that are about the same topic, we compare them and figure out which one wins the battle. So today we're going to be battling it out with these two books. I have here This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Nijkamp. This came out in January of 2016, I believe. And 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult, which came out in 2007. These two books are both about a school shooting. And they also are very similar, and they're all told from multiple points of views. I believe that both of these books are told from 4 points of views. And so they're very similar in that. Let's talk about each book individually first before we decide which one wins this battle, okay? Because I have some really strong opinions on this. Like, legit, like, I feel really strongly about this. First off, let me start this off by saying school shootings are such a scary, terrifying thing. And as a teacher, it's something that I think about all the time. Like, what if someone comes in here with a gun? Like, what would I do? What would, just like, you can have like all these things set in place and, you know, all these procedures that you're supposed to do, but when it comes down to it, like, I don't know what I would do. It is so scary. So reading a book about a school shooting is something that really just kind of hits home to me, and I'm just like, man, like, this could happen anywhere. So I picked up This Is Where It Ends a couple months ago, and I read it. This story follows 4 main characters in their school, and the whole shooting takes place with a span of 52 minutes. And throughout this story, we're going back and forth between the different points of views of 4 students in the school. This story, 19 Minutes, is also about a school shooting. It takes place in 19 minutes. But there's more to it than just the shooting. You see the aftermath of the shooting, you see the court trials, and just the complete devastation that this shooting had on the community of the students. And this book follows 4 points of view, I believe, including the shooter. This book did not include the shooter's point of view, and that is one of the things that I wish this would have done. So we're about to really get into the meat of this, and I'm just gonna say right off the bat, this book I gave like a 1 star. This book I gave a 5 star. I felt this is how you handle a school shooting. This is how you write about a school shooting. This pissed me off. It was almost just like insulting to me. It felt like she was trying to write about something really edgy just for the sake of writing about something really edgy, and knowing that it would capture audiences and people would read it because it's about a school shooting. But I feel like she didn't do the topic any justice. So there you have it. Now we can get into it. Here are the things that I did not like about This Is Where It Ends. Number 1, the characters, they had no development. I literally did not care about these characters, and they're sitting there in a school shooting. Like, they are fighting for their lives, and I really don't care. And I'm not a heartless person. I'm really not. She just did not develop the characters and their relationships, and they weren't authentic characters. They just weren't authentic at all. And that made me, as a reader, not care about what happened to them. Another thing that I did not like about this book, and we'll get into that more when I talk about what I liked about this book, was I feel like this book was very one-sided, one-dimensional. I feel like when a student goes into a school and shoots up a school, shooting and killing their peers, their teachers, usually, I mean, you have a rare instant that that student is just like a sociopath, but usually there is some deep, deep trauma going on inside of them. Some heavy, heavy turmoil that they are dealing with, and that is how they decide to solve it or make it better. Do I feel sorry or feel like we should go easy on people who go in and shoot up a school? Hell no. That is not what I'm saying. But this book took the shooter and just villainized him so much to the point where it just seemed like he was just he was just shooting up the school because he just felt like it. No, there's a reason a 16-year-old kid goes into a school and kills however many people he killed in this book. He doesn't just do it willy-nilly. I wish that this author would have explored that more, because that would have made this book impactful. That would have been meaningful. That would have opened the eyes to students who may feel the way that this character felt. It might have opened their eyes to students who are mean and bullying other students, like this is something that can happen, but no, it just made the shooter just look like just a crazy sociopath who just one day decided to shoot up the school, and he was just this awful, terrible person. No, he grew up. He was a little cute little toddler at one point. He had family that loved him. He had friends. There was a reason why he decided to shoot up the school. And shame on this author for not digging into that and for just giving us a one-dimensional view. I didn't like that at all. That was probably the #1 issue that I had with this book. Because if you are going to write a book about a school shooting, you better get it right, and you better make it so that it is impactful for the people who read it, that they learn something and it takes something away from it. This just didn't do that for me, like at all. 19 minutes. I remember reading this book in high school, and I remember it just rocking my soul. This book did have the shooter as a point of view. You got into Peter's mind. You really understood why he was doing what he was doing, and although you didn't agree with it, you never said it was okay, but you got it. Like she wrote this character so good that yes, he was going into a school and shooting and killing innocent children, teenagers, but she wrote the character, she made him authentic, she made him more than one layer so that you maybe not understood, but you could see through his point of view, through his whacked out perception of what was going on with himself. You understood why he felt like he needed to do that. Do you agree with it? No. But you get it. You get this other layer. That is something that's really, really special. There's a reason why this book is on summer reading lists for kids in high school. There's a reason why teachers are reading this book and assigning it to their high school students, because it's impactful. Because it's not like this, where it's just like, oh, this terrible person comes in and shoots a school. This book really digs into his mind, and you see what's going on in there, and you're like, man, like this could be anyone. Like anyone could be pushed to this point. Like, what can I do as a person to make sure that never happens? I also really liked the characters in this story. I liked that all of the characters, all of the relationships were totally believable. They were fully fleshed out, and I was connected with each and every character in this book. Unlike this, I didn't care what happened. At the end of this book, I felt nothing really, except for a little bit of anger. But at the end of this book, there was so many feels going on. That's how you know that an author did her thing with those characters. They were so authentic, so believable, and I cared and I was invested. Another thing that I loved about this book was, yes, it was about the shooting. It was about that 19 minutes where Peter was shooting up the school and what happened. But it also talked about the aftermath. What came next? How did the community deal with it and heal? How did the victims heal? How did the victim's family heal? How did Peter, what happened to Peter? How did he deal with what he had just done? This didn't do that. This ended like still in the shooting. Like you don't know what's going on afterwards, and I feel like she did that to try to be like artistic or like something. But I feel like it would have been a lot more impactful if we would have seen the aftermath of what happened, because the act of violence itself isn't the biggest thing in a school shooting. It's a huge thing. It's the saddest part. But what I think really needs to be discovered in a school shooting is what happened before the shooting, what was the reason for those shootings, and what did the school do, what did the community do to make sure that this type of thing never happens again. And 19 minutes did that for me. You saw before the shooting what was going on in all of these characters' lives before the shooting. What happened afterwards? How did the community react? What happened to the shooter afterwards? So I just bow down to Jodi Picoult for addressing this topic, for doing a damn good job of it, and having it be something that high school students all over the United States are reading for summer reading. Like, teachers are assigning this book, guys, because it's impactful. And anyone, I'm sorry, anyone who says that this book is a better portrayal of school shootings than this book, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I feel like she should have done a lot more research, a lot more soul searching before just writing any willy-nilly thing down and putting it in a book, slapping it with an interesting synopsis so people pick it up, and it being, you know, like a taboo subject where, like school shooting, and calling it a day. This book made me angry. This book rocked my soul. It made me think and made me a better person after reading it. Because like I said, I was in high school when I read this book, and I remember really being aware of myself and how I'm treating others and what's going on around me after reading this. So, battle of the books. This book wins the battle! Alright guys, sorry if I got a little riled up and emotional. It's just that's a really emotional topic. And this is a video that I've been wanting to make for such a long time. I hope you liked it. I hope you like this idea of the battle of the books. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know any ideas you might have for some books that I could do in the future. You can leave all that in the comments below. Until next time, happy reading.